Alright, here's me talking. Here's me firing a gun. Go ahead, Dante.
Here's me talking. Here's me killing the spy.
Excellent. I'm gonna go check. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly edition of Steam Roundtable. Our first weekly edition, so it's... We'll see next week if it's a weekly edition. Oh, I got headshot immediately. God damn it. Oh, well.
Yeah, we thought we would talk about the games that have come out this week on Steam, see if there's any winners, if there's probably some losers, and we'll go through them and we'll see if there's anything that looks good.
Yeah, do you have any, you want to start off the game conversation while I, blow up some dudes?
Yeah, so quite a few games came out this week, and a fuckload of DLC came out. I think there was like 3 whole drop-downs of DLC came out this week, but
yeah,
we're not going to talk about DLC because who cares? But yeah, it was kind of an indie game week. There was, by my count, at least like 3 or 4 indie games, maybe even more. Yeah, I think actually looks like 6 indie games came out this week. None of them look too good to me. I've heard a lot of good things about Gunpoint, which is one of the games that came out. Actually, I should probably just go through what came out real quick.
Yeah, go by one, and then we'll discuss.
So we're starting from May 30th, which was last Thursday, and today's Thursday, June 6th.
Yes.
So that's the period we went through there. And so the games that came out were Expeditions Conquistador, which was one of those kind of settlers-type strategy RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
The Swapper came out, which is actually a pretty high-profile indie game. Yep. Rising Storm, which I have never heard of and probably don't care about at all. Oh, wait, actually, that's the new Red Orchestra franchise game.
Yeah.
And then Folktale came out, which is kind of like also a strategy kind of world-building game. XENONAUGHTS came out on early access. Gunpoint came out, which is also another high-profile indie game. Marvel Heroes Free-to-Play finally released. Remember Me, which is... there's been a lot of hype about this game in the major gaming circuit. Yeah. I think this is a cross-platform. Cranky Cat.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Which is... Despite his weird fucking name, is like a Bubble Bobble ripoff or something like that, or Bust-A-Move, something like that.
It looks. I mean, I'm gonna save my detailed impressions, but it looked like a fairly addictive puzzle game.
Yeah. Jagged Alliance Online, which is another online game that came out released this week. Prime World Defenders, which is a weird like combination of card game and tower defense, which I haven't looked at that. Substance Designer 3, which is another addition to the new software department of Steam. I think this is a texture renderer.
Yeah.
For some reason, TRINE 2 got re-released, even though I don't remember any DLC coming out for that ever, but alright.
I'm failing at sticky jumps here. This is an embarrassing display. They're watching me suck at Team Fortress while you talk about games.
Yeah, we're doing the challenge where Rick plays TF2 and talks about games in depth at the same time.
Yeah, this is not going to be a pro strat.
Hyper failure. And then on the last one that came out, which was today, was ARCANE SAGA Online, which looks like, I think that's probably the best looking MMO I've ever seen in the year 1999.
Yeah.
But yeah. So those are the games we're going to go through. After we stop talking about them, we're going to talk about some of the new releases that are coming up that we might be excited about. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to share a little bit of stuff we loved from this week in the gaming world and some stuff that we hated this week in the gaming world. So we're going to round it off with a little bit of opinion at the end there. But yeah, so I was thinking about going in order. I don't know if you had a plan.
Yeah, you can go in any order. I have everything written down so I can find it fairly quickly if you go in whatever order.
Okay, sure. So let's take a look at Expeditions Conquistador.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's like a standalone expansion to whatever Expeditions is. I've never even heard of this franchise.
Yeah, me neither.
So this is it's like kind of a top-down Diablo-esque kind of game, but it's also has like some world building stuff going on as far as I can tell. It looks like it's mostly like Diablo stuff going on. So it's kind of weird. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to build a whole game off of the racist expansion of the Spanish Armada.
Well, one of the few things I liked about this game was the use of history. I did look at it, and I don't remember anything remotely being made about fucking, the conquistadors. Like, that's just a part of history that's not mentioned, probably for good reason.
Yeah, these are terrible, terrible people. I see someone literally killing an Aztec person in one of these screenshots. Like, you're going through the new world, killing all the, you're showing your smallpox blankets. That's one of the actors killing.
Enjoy, yeah. Well, I mean, there's few things that haven't been covered in games that have been horrible, horrible events. So,
yeah, I'm still waiting for the JRPG about the heroic lumberjacks of the Yukon who use their tree cutting skills to kill people. But that's besides the point. This game, I don't know, it doesn't look super good. It looks pretty dated. I think it is an indie game, so I don't want to like make that the main complaint about it. I do kind of like that it has the Sudoku kind of large character cast going on. Like, it says that it has 30 different companions that you can choose from, which is kind of cool. But other than that, it doesn't really strike me as like super exciting or anything like that. I mean, I was already ready to like pass it over just because of the name. It's just like such a boring like settlers type name to it,
Oh yeah, but I looking at it, the one thing that really depressed me about a lot of these games, and it seems to happen to a lot of them, is that even if it was interesting, the video is not at all. Like, it doesn't tell a damn thing about the story. It doesn't tell anything about anything. It just sucks. It sucks that they can't fucking promote their product worth shit.
Yeah.
Because the only thing...
Well, I mean, they're probably a small firm who can't, like, afford to get a, like a advertising campaign or something like that. So probably one of the programmers was like, I'll put that together on the weekend, So, I guess I should probably also say, when we're talking about these, how much they cost and if they've gotten any...
Yeah, can you get the prices? Because I only got the price on one, which was a very bad price.
Yeah. So this one's going for $19.99, so it's a lot cheaper than your traditional game. A little bit... actually, I've been seeing a lot of indie games that have been going for $19.99, so I think that's about the standard price for them, although I kind of like expect around 10 to 20 is like the range.
Yeah.
And this one's one of the rare games that Steam has put up a Metascore on before it tried to sell anything. Like, a lot of the games, it like puts the blockade on Metascore before it comes out. But this one got a 73 out of 100. So, I mean, that's usually actually a pretty good score for Metacritic. So, maybe it is good. I don't know.
But Metacritic isn't really a super accurate thing, I find.
Yeah, it kind of depends. This one, indie games too tend to be like there's only like 5 reviews, so the way they're spread out isn't always the best, but yeah. So that's Conquistador, or Expeditions Conquistador. I don't know if I want to give it a pass. I mean, some of the things look good about it, some look bad. I would say if there was like a demo, I would try it first, but there does not appear to be any sort of demo. So maybe wait a little bit, read the forums, and if Diablo's your kind of thing, maybe you'll like it.
Yeah, that's probably...
And also, oppressing the native people.
Yeah.
Also
that was an embarrassing round, by the way. I'm gonna turn...
Did you die?
I died a lot, man. I'm gonna turn the sound down while we load up another thing. Let's pause while it loads up another map. Okay, and we're back, and it is Badwater Basin. Let's talk about the next game on the list that's not about fucking enslaving the local populace.
Alright, well, I don't know if there's any enslaving in this game or not, but the next game we're looking at is the Swapper, which is going for $14.99 right now, and this one's got a Metascore out too for 87 out of 100, which is really, really high, especially for an indie game.
I can't remember much about this, even though I wrote down notes, but I remember what I wrote down was unsure, could be good, but vids make it seem bland.
Yeah, probably another round of the developers just putting one of the coders on the video department, but...
Yeah, and they show off, like, just the fucking textures, and dudes running around, and, like, Billy fucking stoops over his teddy bear and cries. Nothing about the story, nothing about anything. If you're making an indie game and it has, like, a good story or good... Like, what is this? What is the Swapper about?
Yeah, this one actually has been getting a lot of good publicity for his story. It's kind of got, like, this game's, like, being called kind of like the indie portal is what a lot of people are comparing it to. So it's got, like, kind of a... what they call like a metaphysical kind of story, where it's like about the whole premise of the game is that you have a gun that can clone you.
Oh,
can,
this is the space one.
Yeah, and you can like shoot your clone up onto platforms and solve puzzles with your clones and stuff, and it kind of like talks about the morality of making a clone of yourself and then leaving it to die. So it actually supposedly has a really good story. I've been excited for this game actually for a little while. I haven't bought it yet. I'm kind of waiting for it to go on sale because I am a poor person, but I think I will eventually get this game because it looks really good to me.
The term is impoverished.
Oh yeah, I'm poor as hell.
I'm damn poor, son.
I ain't got no schooling. Yeah, this game looks great to me. I probably will get it eventually. I definitely like the kind of this one's 2D, but I kind of like the Portal-y kind of puzzle games, so I'll probably end up getting this eventually.
Yeah, no, it looked alright, but it just seemed like, you know, it was the same. It was a video of the dude walking down a fucking corridor. The same fucking corridor with spooky space music behind it, and every once in a while there was a clone, and I'm like, that seems alright, and the reviews are really good. Oh hey, I have Kurtz Krieg is Spy.
Alright, get that Magnum out.
I'm full of pee, and I'm being lit on fire. That's your update on my Team Fortress game so far, Inti.
Sounds like it's going great over there, Rick.
That's probably invitationals. Thanks for putting me out next to the cabinet, dude. No, I can't really say much besides that. It looks like it could be a great game, but again, it's guys, learn to make a fucking video.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give it a buy, or at least a consider, because I think it's. I mean, the reviews are solid for it, and it sounds like a really interesting game. So, I would say if you're into puzzle games and you're into like kind of weird stories, I would say go for it.
Yeah.
All right. Next game that we are looking at is Rising Storm. So this is coming from Tripwire Interactive.
Ooh, yeah, Killing Floor devs.
Yeah, they made Killing Floor. They also made Red Orchestra 1 and 2, which are really beloved games in like the realistic kind of multiplayer war game market. I'm not like a huge fan of Killing Floor or Red Orchestra, but I can kind of respect that they're like a not quite indie, not quite full developing firm who kind of like is into like a certain niche of games. So this one is like it's in the exact same vein as a Red Orchestra, except instead of being about Russia and Germany, this one's about America versus, I think it's Japan in the islands, like the World War II Pacific battle kind of thing.
Well, one thing I've always loved about Tripwire is their ability to make their guns feel different. Like, you pick up a shotgun, it feels probably not like a shotgun would feel, but, you know.
Yeah, no, they definitely are like kind of committed to making the mechanics of battle like not at all like the Black Ops where you're like can just like fire off a machine gun for 3 minutes without losing your aim.
Yeah.
So I respect that about them. I played like they had like a free weekend of Red Orchestra 2, and I played it for like about an hour, and I was like, man, I fucking hate this.
Yeah.
It was just like me getting headshot a million times in a row with the game. So I probably won't buy this, but I think that they are a pretty well respected development firm.
For a good reason.
One thing I have to note about Tripwire is they need to fucking upgrade to the Unreal Engine, whatever the current version is, because all of their models are like straight out of a PS2 game. It's cracking up every time I look at it. So, and God, I forgot to say the prices and stuff. This one's going for $19.99, and there's also a digital deluxe, which has some Killing Floor unlocks, and it also has some like soundtrack bullshit and some day one unlocks. It's like weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
That's going for, let's say, $29.99 for that one, and then you can also buy the 4-pack for $59.97.
Ooh, that sounds
which
expensive.
Yeah, but that is a savings of $20. So if you get your dudes to pitch in some money.
Wasn't this the multiplayer game that had one of these games that we're going to be talking about had a huge like multiplayer cap, like it was like 60 dudes could play. Is this
one's got 64 players at a time. Let's see what else. Yeah, it's got a bunch of World War II bullshit in it. It sounds like they've got like kind of they're trying to make more realistic battles with like you want to like set up your mortars and stuff like that and actually dig in, as opposed to like the deathmatch style of modern shooters where you're just like running around all over the place.
Yeah.
So they're trying to set up like an actual like war field kind of thing. And there's it looks like it's like fucking packed with key features here. I don't want to read them all out loud, but it sounds pretty interesting. It's still got like the kind of ranking up that you have in your Black Ops and stuff like that. So it still has.
Hopefully, that's faster ranking up than fucking what Killing Floor had.
Yeah, that game, boy. We're not gonna talk about that though.
What's your thoughts on large scale multiplayer? Like, you know, do you think having 64 dudes, just no computers whatsoever, could be a good thing? Or do you think it's just going to be like, oh, there's going to be the 3 dudes who are insanely impossible, and then 5 dudes at spawn shooting each other? And
I know. I think that sounds interesting. I would be like on your side if you can coordinate. So that would be, whether it be 32 players on each side. So I wonder how they could coordinate with each other. I mean, it would be interesting to see. I definitely think it's cool that they are trying to put that many people into one multiplayer game at the same time. Like, I think that's interesting. I don't know exactly how I think it would work out, though. I mean, it's probably like you say, where there's just like a bunch of dudes who are really good owning everyone else. But I'd have to play it to see, I think. It kind of reminds me of, there used to be that MMO first-person shooter a long time ago that was like kind of World War II based too, that I don't think anyone plays anymore, that had like even more than 64 players at a time, and that people really liked because they could like, it was like actually like being in war where you had to like coordinate people. So if it's like that, I think that would be really cool, but I'd really have to see. I kind of remember Red Orchestra being sort of like that, where like if you tried to go off on your own, you'd be getting your ass kicked. So it could be that they've designed the game like that. All right, what do you think? Are you gonna?
I'm trying to headshot this one heavy. Heavies are so hard to headshot. Shut up! This isn't funny. I can't kill anybody. Ah, god damn it! All right, let's talk about Folktale.
Okay, yeah. Funny story, I actually got super excited about Folktale because I thought it was this other game. There's like somebody developing a game that's like supposed to be kind of like Minecraft, but with Age of Empires mixed in, where it was like kind of like a randomly generated city builder kind of thing. And that is not what Folktale is, a city builder, but it's not that game. So when I saw it, I was all, oh, that game's being released. This is an early access game, by the way. So I was like, yeah, well, that's why I thought it. But no, I think Folktale, it's not that, but it looks kind of like kind of a mix between the SimCity and Age of Empires realm come together.
Yeah.
I think it looks a little silly. When I was watching the videos for this, I was like, wow, this looks fucking stupid. Because there was like a bunch of that kind of like Warcraft 3 type of humor where like the humans were like really stupid and had the goofy voices. And that kind of threw me off. But other than that, I think it looks like it's kind of I like the deep, like, crafting system where you have to like set up all these different mines, and I kind of like that they have the RPG stuff thrown in there too, where there's like kobolds guarding the mines or whatever. I thought that looked pretty interesting, but I wasn't really excited about this one, especially because I found that wasn't the game I wanted it to be. What did you think of this bad boy? Oh, I should say the recent stuff too first. Hold on.
Yeah.
So this one's this is early access right now, so it's $19.99 to get into the beta for it, and it doesn't have a score yet, obviously. So anyways, go ahead.
Well, I was a lot more excited than you, apparently, for this game. I don't like the humor, as you had mentioned. It doesn't look like too funny, but I like the idea of, you know, making your own town and an RPG around it, of doing what you can to make that town bigger and better. And it just seems to me like that would be a really great thing. Maybe this isn't the game that capitalizes on it, but I feel like a good combination of fantasy and SimCity. You know,
I don't know if you ever played the Majesty. Was it Majesty, the name of the games, where you had like the RPG and the towns built together? Did you ever play those?
No.
Man, those games fucking sucked.
Did
they were like, it was like, I don't know. They tried to combine like the overhead RPG thing with the city building, but it was just like kind of like trying to micromanage two things at the same time, so it got kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't suck. I just didn't like it because it was like, it wasn't as good as SimCity, and it wasn't as good as like the Diablos or whatever. So I wonder if this game's kind of the same way, if they've like fully fleshed out both sides of it.
Oh, well, I mean, let me look here. The oh, and when you're in RP, what I was kind of into was the idea of like when you're getting into a fight, you can actually take the camera wherever you want. You can go down into the shit as it would be, and you know, highlight your dudes and be able to just change up everything and fucking die scout. Oh god, their entire team, dude, they're crushing us. We're dead.
Oh Whoops. It's all because you stopped to review a video game.
Yeah. Yep. Well, while I'm dead, I was excited about this game. I mean, it is in dev, and it could be good, it could be bad. I like the idea of being connected to your town, being kind of connected to the story by the fact that you're building the town, you're making the town bigger and better, and ooh, crits in the face. Yeah, this is bad. You take over talking. I might have to try and not die for a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I really like. I'm like you. I really building games, and I kind of like the idea of like having a little bit more control over how things expand, especially with this kind of like strategy RTS mixed in. But I feel like I don't know. I got burned so badly by SimCity that every time I see a city building game, I'm like, my scrutiny is like intense. Where I'm like, this better be fucking amazing, or else I'm gonna
fucking kill you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. There's some things about this game that I think are really cool. I think that the way that the cities are laid out and like how they evolve kind of dynamically is really cool. But I also have I've heard this promise before, and I'm like, if it doesn't live up to my expectations, I'll get really mad. So I think I'm a little bit gun shy for city sims for the moment. This is also an early access game, so my recommendation for this one would be to wait, see if it gathers like a following, and it's like really people are like starting to love it, kind of like another city building game that I like is like Dwarf Fortress, where like people are like really into it, and that's like where you're like, oh, people are really into it, there must be something to this game. So I would wait to see if there's like a following springing up around Folktale, but otherwise I would say pass for now.
Yeah, no, and I like how they're planning on having a kind of a sandbox element to it. That they're going to be adding, that you can actually make your town what you want it to be. You can make a map outside. So if this ends up growing, like you said, this might end up being like, a lot of people are making new maps, a lot more extra content. And that's kind of another thing I was hugely excited for, because that could make or break the game if they end up making a proper amount of customizability. I don't want to play the same fucking game over and over again.
Yeah, it's always good to. I really like the indie movement of like randomly generated maps and like having the community have access to the publishing tools and stuff like that. So that's always a plus. One thing I thought when I was looking over this game, I was actually looking at this game last week pretty hard to see if I wanted to buy it or not, and I always notice in the dev forums or like in the description of the game, it was all the developers will listen to the feedback on the forums, and I'm like, yeah, fucking right. Yeah. Every single indie game early release says that on there, and none of them do. So, yeah. All right, let's move on to XENONAUGHTS. This came out earlier this week on the 31st. This guy's going for $19.99, and this is also an early access game. And this game looks to be like a weird, like alternate world 1999 version of XCOM. Like if they had made a sequel to XCOM, the original XCOM, like right away, or another sequel after there was 3, I think, originally, and this looks like the 4th one basically. I think they're trying to cash in on the people really likes the old XCOM game, so they're trying to make a kind of a retro game that's a lot like that. I gotta say that I don't really like the original XCOM games or the new ones, so this one definitely I was just like, ugh, I hate XCOM.
Yeah.
But it's got kind of the I don't know, the isometric 2D graphics that they look pretty good. They look pretty dated. They look like they could have come out like in the mid 90s on a PC game that was like high budget, but some of the like illustrated scenes I'm seeing here are pretty cool. They actually look good, so it's kind of like a mixture of retro and like new illustration and stuff like that. So the graphics looks okay to me.
Yeah.
What were your notes on this game, Rick?
They're very, very, very small. All my notes say is XENONAUGHTS. In dev, no thoughts, no vid. I never played any fucking XCOM. I don't like this type of game. This is not my... jeez, I got dropped to a snot reservation. Alright, there's... Oh god, this is going to be 32. No! My thoughts are basically that's not my cup of tea. Like, these games are just not my cup of tea. And even if they were, this just doesn't look really good at all. Like, there's really... It just doesn't look good. I'm not a big Diablo fan. You know, I don't like that whole, like, plinking numbers away and you get 40 million pounds of loot and shit. So any game that is either of those kind of just kills me. Which is weird, because...
I don't think this is very Diablo game. I think this is more like a... I mean, there's like a weird, like, Western divide between, like, Final Fantasy Tactics and the XCOMs are, like, on the opposite sides of the, like, turn-based grid strategy kind of games. This is kind of like that. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a really big fan of the Western tactical RPGs either. But I think this one, putting my, like, opinions about Western tactical RPGs, I think these people are, like, genuinely trying to, like, appeal to the XCOM crowd. So if you're, like, an XCOM fan, you might look into this, like, check on the... I'm sure there's, like, still, like, a fucking dedicated forum to XCOM where they're probably being like, oh, yeah, XENONAUGHTS totally holds true to the original XCOM whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I think this is definitely, like, one of those niche games where it's like, if you're into this, you're gonna love this game, because that's us too, you know? But, yeah, I'm not a fan of XCOM of any time, so I'm probably gonna give this a... I'll probably never look at this game again.
It doesn't, like... When people play strategy games and stuff like that, this game was marked as strategy, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely strategy.
It just doesn't seem to be too interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some of the appeal of, like, XCOM and stuff like that is that, like, you have, like, this band of, like, normal human people and you have to go up against these, like, ridiculous aliens and, like, half of your squad dies and you're, like, struggling to survive. So it's kind of like a survival strategy type of game. I mean, I can understand the appeal. It just, like, frustrates me because I played the new XCOM for probably, like, 12 hours before I was just finally just like, fuck this game. I'm getting really sick of this bullshit that keeps happening to me, so I think you have, like, a certain mentality where you're, like, overcoming the odds kind of strategy game, you know? But anyways, sounds like neither of us are way into XENONAUGHTS, so I'll probably leave that one for a more sophisticated tactical RPG audience. Okay, so the next game we're looking at is Gunpoint. So this one's going for $8.99 right now. It's $9.99 normally, so it's still got a special promotion going until June 10th. It also has a special edition, and let's see what's in that bad boy. Yeah, kind of a weak one. It's got like a, well, I mean, unless you're really into this shit, but it's got like a making of video. It's got some new music, beta access, stuff like that. So,
yeah.
And I think it also has some weird, like, skins and stuff, it looks
like.
So, this game actually has been getting a ton of hype on... It's got an 85 on Metacritic, so... It was a little bit higher earlier this week, so I think it probably got a few less positive reviews recently, but this guy was up there with... I think it was second to Bioshock Infinite for about the first half of the week, so it has been getting a lot of hype.
Yeah.
And I guess I should say this is kind of like a Yahtzee trilby spy game where you're going through a 2D building trying to sneak in and do whatever it is that spies do.
Yeah, you know, them spies.
Yeah, stab people in the back. Yeah, I personally am not real excited about this. Something about the graphics kind of rubs me wrong.
Yeah, it's so small. Like, it's so hard to tell what's going on.
Yeah, I think it looks a lot better in motion, but I'm still, like, have my doubts about it. But, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that a game's graphics were, like, not the most important part of it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So, but it definitely, like, is reminiscent of the of like the Trilby games or like whatever he named his weird ass games. So, and those games were really fun. So I could see why this game could also be a fun kind of thing. And it looks like it's got some interesting systems set up in it and stuff like that. So I could see why it could be fun. I just haven't had a chance to play it. I guess it doesn't impress me from the front page like ads for it, but people seem to really like it. So maybe that's good. Any notes on this?
I looked at it. It looked really kind of good, but at the same time, like, I don't know if it's going to hold my interest. It looks like the same shit over and over.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking about because we've been playing Monaco a lot, and I looked at that and I was all, this is like the same shit over and over. But when we played it, it was actually a lot of fun. I think a lot of that fun came from it being that it was a total clusterfuck with trying to play it, which makes it hilarious. So I don't know if that same thing like passes over to this, but this game could be the same kind of fun. I mean, I never really got tired of the same like breaking down doors and hacking computers kind of stuff. So it could be that the game just stays fresh the whole time or not. It's kind of hard to say without playing it. This one also has a demo on it. It's one of the few games that came out this week that has a demo to play. So if you want to like find, you can actually do a demo of it, which is nice. I think all games should do that. Yeah. So, I think I might get this game eventually. I'm not gonna get it right away because I have a lot of games I need to play, but it looks good to me. Yeah. Something about it. I mean, it probably is just like the hype getting to me, but it sounds like it's a good game.
It seems like it could be a good game, but I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
There's just something that strikes me that is just a little off by it, and it's got to be the fact that I just can't tell what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to see what's going on in this tiny little Steam square where you're supposed to look at all this shit. But I don't know, the video looks pretty smooth. Like, it looks like a smooth playing game. It's just kind of hard to tell if it's immersive while you're actually playing it or not.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up for now, but you should probably play the demo, which you can, which is nice of the developers to give you a demo to do.
Yeah, it could be great, but it looks like it's just something that could have been ran on a browser somewhere.
It definitely looks like a Flash game.
Yeah, like I feel like I could go to fucking Albino Black Sheep or fucking Newgrounds and enjoy this game. And that's not a knock against the developers. I'm sure it's a great game, but at the same time, it just looks that way, and the first look is the most important. So
yeah,
the first impression.
I mean, a lot of people like that kind of indie retro pixelated look, like it looked like it came straight off of a Windows 95 game, but I don't know if I'm super into that. Sometimes I am. Like, there's a lot of games like Cave Story and Fez where I'm like, these graphics look great, but they're just kind of like, this game looks a little bit muddy with its graphics, and those games are like, they use the pixels to have like a clear vision of what the graphics are supposed to look like, like they have like a classic feel to them, as opposed to this one that's more like a, kind of like one of those weird, muddy Windows 95 games where you're like, kind of like, I'll put up with the graphics to get through it,
Yeah, it's not, we're not playing Ski Free here.
Yeah. Ski Free, there's a great game.
Yeah, when is that coming out on Steam?
Yeah, it's Steam Ski Free HD, only $19.99.
Seriously, I don't know about these new games that look old. It's not a bad thing to have retro graphics, but I like my graphics to be clear.
Yeah, that's my only problem with it too. So
anyway, let's go on to let's see here, Marvel Heroes.
Yeah, Marvel Heroes. So this is a free-to-play game. This is made by Gazillion, who I think I actually remember. Let's see what else they've made. Nothing else on Steam. Their name rings a bell with me. But anyways, so this is an MMO, but it's also stylized in the same way as it's a top-down Diablo-type game.
Yeah.
And I've actually played this game for about an hour, and I gotta say that I was not impressed with it. It was super slow, like, as opposed to, like, I'm not a fan of Diablo 3 either, because that game fucking sucks, and that game is, like, a billion times more exciting than this one is, because you're just, like, I don't know, everything's just kind of slow-moving. I don't know. I'm kind of a fan of Marvel comic books, so I was, like, kind of excited to get into it, because I like them.
Yeah.
But it was just not the best game I've ever played in my life. It also, this shouldn't like influence you as to how good the game is, but it is fucking gouging the shit out of its expansion packs and stuff. Every single expansion pack it has is $80 or more, and they include 4 characters and some like costumes and stuff.
Yikes.
Come on, guys! like I was like, maybe I'll pay $15 for that if I like really like this game, but $80 I will never pay for anything.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. There's no reason.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what all to say about this. I like Marvel as an IP, but I feel like this is kind of wasted. It's like just like the most generic Diablo game you could ever play, and it's also an MMO, so like it's even slower and more grindy than Diablo which is like the point of Diablo is to be like a huge grind. So
yeah, Diablo is not my favorite game in the world, so I can't fucking put the words together to tell you why anyone would play this kind of obvious cash-in version of it.
Yeah, even I'm like a Diablo fan. I like that kind of game, but even this one is just like not good enough to. It's not worth the price of the characters, and it's not worth the time put into it because it's just not. It's not compelling at all. So, and I mean, I can speak a lot more about this one because it's the only one I've played this week. But even the MMO elements of it are just kind of like weird and like half-assed. Because I mean, Diablo's like primarily like the most people you want to have interacting at once is like 4 people because it's kind of you don't want to muddy the environment with like all these special effects going off and stuff like that. And this game doesn't. It makes like a weird like distinction between like some areas are like opened up and there's like 100 people in them, and some areas have 0 people in them, and that's like the only 2 divides that I ever saw between anything, which struck me as really weird while I was playing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely. I mean, there's like no risk involved in playing this game, but I mean, I would say pass even despite that because it's just not any fun.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look fun even remotely.
Yeah, it's just like your standard Diablo meets MMO, so I would give this guy a little pass.
Yeah. Let me turn the page here on my notes. What's next?
Let's have a look here. So it looks like we are looking at Remember Me.
What are your thoughts on Remember Me?
This game has been getting a lot of negative press, which is sad to me because it looks really interesting to me. It kind of looks like you showed me that preview for the game where the guy's like has the ability to like hack into cars and like look up stuff on the internet all the time, and it kind of looks like they're trying to do the same thing with this. And I think the story sounds really interesting, and I like that they're like trying to promote like a strong female lead in a video game, which is like one of the like fucking rarest unicorns you can have in a video game. But despite my like excitement for it, I've been watching a lot of like reviews for it and the story and stuff. It just doesn't look that good.
The story looks fucking awful. Let me read to you my notes. Let me go into the sewers here in 2-Fort, next to this dispenser and Sentry, and just read to you my notes. Remember Me. Edge, question mark? The dude fucking who's helping you out, his name's Edge. Neo Paris in caps.
Yeah.
Memory Hunter. It's just basically Mirror's Edge.
I thought it was pretty interesting actually that you could go into like people's memories and like change stuff. That sounded like a cool game mechanic to me. But yeah, I actually watched I think it was what's the new company that like is the replacement for G4 that Cesta works for?
Revision 3.
Yeah, Revision 3 did a review of this, and they were like, and one thing you'll get really sick of is the cheesy lines, and it just like played like all these like a montage of lines where the guy's like, "How about you play Surrender and I kill you anyways?" And I was just like, "Oh my god, who wrote this game?"
It's a fanfic, dude.
Yeah, it pretty much is. It's like fanfic tier writing, which is too bad. I mean, this game looks beautiful. I've heard that it does a really bad job with its fighting system.
Yeah,
it's like one of those games that like made a compromise between Arkham Asylum and doing its own thing, and it did kind of a bad job, which is too bad. I really wanted this game to be good, but everything that I've heard about it says that it is not good.
I'm sure it isn't.
I mean, sometimes like games get like a bad review, and I like them anyways, just because there's like some novel parts to it that I think are interesting. But it's definitely not like a game where I'm like, wow, that's the fucking greatest game I ever played in my life. You know how to get it, and I probably, even if this was on sale, I'd be really hesitant to like buy it because I don't know. It's also one of those cross-console games that has like kind of a muddied like stance between like being a console game where it's like has weird controls on PC and also being like a PC game where there's like a ton of like Like, I don't know if you played any of the Deus Ex games that just came out recently, where they just have like so much text in there. You're like, am I reading a novel right
No,
now?
I haven't checked out Deus Ex, but I keep getting told that it's a good series.
It's the new one's good, but it's also like I don't want to read all this shit. Like, I want my games to be like the story needs to be told to me in the game
Yes.
fashion, not like I'm reading a fucking book about
Final
the game.
Fantasy 13 then.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't know what the fuck's going on until you read the appendices.
I will say that this game has like the most beautiful graphics that I've seen on a long time, which probably has a lot to do with its like cross compatibility with 360 and PS3. But it looks great. I really like the style of it too, where she's kind of got like this, like it like has like the digital gray, orange, and white kind of like color scheme, which appeals to me. But yeah, I think the graphics and some of the more like forward-thinking elements are the only thing that this game really has going for it, and the rest of it's kind of like a mediocre console port, which is too bad because I really wanted to play this game.
Let's move on. I think you've basically said everything that could be said about this game.
Alright, we'll get to our favorite game, Cranky Cat.
Cranky Cat, I am super pumped for it, to be honest.
Yeah, you should be able to afford it too, because it's only $2.99. This game looks like one of those games that has been ported straight off an iPhone onto PC to me, but I mean, I'll let you talk about why you think this game looks exciting to you.
I like puzzle games. How much was it again?
$2.99. So
I mean,
you have, like, no risk buying this game.
I love me a cheap puzzle game. Like the older I get, the less I buy the AAA titles, and the more I buy the cheap titles. And I guess this is before, like a long time ago, I would be like, oh, what the fuck? Why would you buy the shitty cheap game? But now it's just like those are the best games. It's you get them.
You sound like one of those old men who's regressed completely into playing solitaire for PC.
Seriously,
this is the only game for me. Is solitaire.
Fucking Hearts is basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn that Tabitha. She's always getting fucking everything she needs. Oh god, I hate scouts. Come here.
I am not excited for this game at all. This looks like basically there's like a 100 Steam games that are $2.99 that are like some variation of the match 3, match 4 color puzzle kind of game. I mean, I'm sure it's like all those games are addicting as fuck and they like waste your time for at least 10 hours or something like that. But I mean, I've played the king of them all. What's that fucking Peggle is like
Peggle.
the king of all puzzle games, so I played that one. I'm sure I played a game better than this one. I do want to comment on this game's fucking bizarre title and like aesthetics. Like it's all like weird Victorian mustached cats.
It's like fucking that cat from Penny Arcade.
I'm sure that's exactly it's like a mix of the Cat Returns and Penny Arcade's cat. Yeah, it looks like it has like one of those weird story modes to it too. Like half the screenshots are of like story mode stuff going on where there's like a bunch of fat cats throwing candy at each other.
I mean, sometimes that's really all you need is a fat fucking cat.
Yeah, I'm sure this game probably delivers exactly what it means to, which is a funny puzzle game about cats. So if you're into that kind of thing, you should definitely go for it. I mean, what do you have to lose? $3? But I don't think I'll ever get this game. It looks pretty funny though. These cats are humorous. All right, that was like the highlight of all games.
Yeah, no, that game is probably the game that I want the most out of this list. To be honest, I really enjoy the simple, easy puzzle game. I mean, there was a game not that long ago called The Curse. Did you ever play The Curse?
The Curse? No, it doesn't ring any bells.
It's $1 on Apple products, so I would recommend it if you ever have a chance to pick it up. It's a really good game. Anyway, I'm not going to take away from what we're talking about right now, though. What's next on the listing?
So the next game we have on the list here is Jagged Alliance Online.
Oh boy, we're getting into these, aren't we?
Yeah, this one is also kind of in the same vein as Marvel. It's kind of a top-down Diablo-esque game, although this one probably has a lot more to do with, I don't know if you ever played these games that were pretty popular in the 90s, kind of like the Commandos, there was one for like Plastic Soldierman, and there's like Cannon Fodder, which is a classic game. So this one's more of like an arcade, top-down kind of game instead of like an RPG. Although I'm sure it has a ton of RPG elements on it because it is an MMO. So I think the reviews of this game that they foolishly decided to include with this are like the most damaging.
Oh yeah, they are. This is the one I remember. This is like, this game is kind of okay, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the one thing it says is best browser MMO game of 2013. Nothing makes me want to play a game less than the words best browser MMO. I like almost like pressed back on the page just reading that because it disgusted me so much. I was like, oh, it's right up there with RuneScape or whatever the fuck.
Oh my god.
Every other terrible game that's ever existed. I mean, there's nothing wrong with browser games, but browser MMOs are the fucking lowest of the low games. Like, nothing's worse than that. So, this game might be good. I really have no idea. There's one screenshot or actually two screenshots that just like display all the fucking hats that are in it. So I'm sure it's beautiful. I've never played any Jagged Alliance games though, so maybe I'm like totally misled on, because Jagged Alliance might be like the greatest game series ever that I've never played before. So who knows?
Who knows?
Could
I
be
doubt
good.
it. I doubt it.
My guess is that this game is not good. It also not quite as bad as the Marvel Heroes game. It also has a pretty fucking ridiculous price gouging on it. It has 2 DLCs they're both on sale right now. They're normally $29.99. They're $26.99 right now, and they're just like, I mean, these aren't as bad as the Marvel ones. These ones like unlock new missions and stuff. But what are you doing? Like, just release the game as like a normal game and put these missions in them. Like, does it have to be an online MMO so you can gouge people for all this like additional content? I don't know. It's kind of, that's like every free-to-play MMO is like, why do you? What is wrong with this business model? But yeah, so I mean, I don't really know that much about Jagged Alliance. I'm gonna say pass because it just doesn't. I mean, the graphics should look really cool. They're all kind of like hand-rendered, kind of top-down graphics, kind of like Diablo 3 had, which look pretty good sometimes. So maybe it is good, but I would have to say pass because it
looks pretty bad. What's the next game?
Okay, so the next game is Prime World Defenders.
Ooh, this one I actually put a little star on. I've ranked a few games with stars as the ones I'm interested in. I'll do a little bit of talking first on this one.
Sure.
And one thing I liked was the neat graphics. Like I really liked the graphics in this game. It just kind of struck me as really interesting and nice, just colorful graphics. It's nice to see those. And like, one game that I could kind of relate it to is TRINE. TRINE had those really colorful graphics. This game here has another set of great graphics, and I'm always a sucker for another tower defense game, like, because that's basically what this is, tower defense with cards. Now, the huge drawback is cards. I fucking hate cards. Like, I hate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really hate cards in video games. Like, it's just this weird gimmick. Like, ever since I played the first game with cards, which was pretty awful, it was that fucking Kingdom Hearts game with the cards.
That game does suck.
You know, it's just like, I'm fine without having cards in the game. I'm just running back and forth on 2 for it. I'm not doing anything interesting. No, it just doesn't make any sense to have these fucking, these cards. It makes no sense. Like, why not just have some other form of these power-ups? You know, it just seems needlessly overcomplicated to have, like, oh, this card does this, and you can combine cards, and you double down, and everything's spiffy and great, and everything's super great, fine, dandy, you know?
That's funny. Yeah, this game, I think it's interesting that you like the graphics, because this game, when I first looked at it, which is, it came out pretty recently, I was actually looking at this game on pre-release, because I really like tower defense games, and this game is definitely... is like harkening way to fuck back to like the classic like Warcraft 3 tower defense like mod games. Like, it has like that same like kind of graphic style where like everything's like pops out and has like a lot of color to it, and even like, I mean, there's like some elements of this game that are like straight out of Warcraft 3, which I like because those are the first tower defense games that I ever played when I was like that age. So I think they're definitely going for like the kind of the same style, like appealing to that generation of gamers. I really like the card elements to it. Like, I like games with cards in them because I think it's kind of I I don't know if this is like, because I definitely agree that Kingdom Hearts game sucked, but I was definitely way into cards before that, so that game was just more of a disappointment for me, because I kind of like this game sounds like it has like kind of like it forces you into like strategy of not like having a million of the same tower, like you have to have the cards for it and stuff like that, so it like has kind of a strategy behind it, which I kind of like.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, I don't know, cards are just like kind of a stand-in for like the merging and upgrading kind of system, which I like anyways, because I like my games to have like some deeper RPG elements in it, so you can like get deep into like the strategy of like developing your own play style, which sounds really cool to me. Yeah, I actually, despite this game looking pretty cool, have not heard any like critical activity about it, which surprises me.
I've heard next to nothing about this game, and that's weird, because I mean, some of these games I've had some sense of what's going on, but not this one.
Yeah, not this one. This is, I mean, I saw it on the coming soon page, and I was kind of excited about it. There's some things about it that look kind of annoying to me as like someone who plays way too many tower defense games. Like, it looks like it's got like, sometimes your tower defense games get like so like over graphic that it's like kind of hard to tell what the fuck's going on. And when I watched the video for this initially, I was like, man, looks like it would be hard to tell what's happening right now, but it looks like they kind of refined it a little bit since then. So I probably will buy this one when it's on sale. I'm kind of tempted to buy it right now because I really like tower defense games. But
I'm a huge fan of tower defense games, so maybe it's not
this game looks like a winner to me. I mean, it's hard to say because I haven't heard anything about this game, so it's hard to say if it's good or bad, because sometimes tower defense games are huge pieces of shit that suck. But, I mean, this game looks good to me. I wonder, I kind of want to play it to find out. It would be nice if they did a demo. But it looks good to me. I would say if you like tower defense, read the forums and see if it's not like the whole game sucks, don't buy it, because sometimes that happens on Steam. But other than that, it looks really good to me, and I would say go for it.
Yeah. This is probably one that I feel is something I can give my most confident recommendation to, because I can't really say that my normal... Ooh, that's stickies right there on the sniper desk. Yeah, I just watched a dude fucking hyper explode. God, that was gruesome. That poor engineer. I'm so sorry, Engie. I'm so sorry.
I'm trying to warn you, pal.
I'm like, I looked at it and I like tried to snipe it, and he fucking kaboomed so hard. Goodbye forever, engineer.
Alright, focus.
God, I can't focus and talk at the same time. Substance Designer, $89.
Is that what we're talking about now?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that Steam has like opened up the software market to put like all of these things on there. I mean, I don't think either of us have even like anywhere near like the competency to be like, oh yeah, Substance Designer, that's the best texture creator that you could ever buy on Steam. Such a good deal. I really don't know. It's the prices for it right now are I didn't say the prices for the tower defense game, did I? It was $14.99. This one is $9.99, but it's on sale right now for $99.99, but it's on sale for $89.99 right now. And there's also a commercial edition of it for $471.99, which I'm guessing is like if you buy the license for it to use in actual games.
Why would anyone pay anything for like that for any software ever?
Yeah, I think that's why it's interesting that Steam is offering these things, because I mean, this is obviously something that commercial game development studios will buy, but who on Steam is like, oh yeah, I gotta have text Substance Designer. I don't know. It's kind of the same with we're not going through DLCs this week, but they just offered I think like 5 or 6 DLCs for RPG Maker, which is an antiquated game anyways, and it was like $10 for a like tile pack of like city stuff, and I was just like, ooh, that stuff is available for free. First of all, on the internet,
who would do that legally? Legally,
yeah,
free.
people will make this stuff for you to download already. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think either of us have a lot to offer about Substance Designer, but I mean, I'm interested if Steam is actually doing a lot of business with these software things, or if it's just kind of like a thing they're adding on. I don't know how to check like how much stuff is sold, so I don't know. I just don't know, Rick.
Nah. What's next? Because I'm not gonna even begin to talk about Substance Designer.
So the next one is Trying to Complete Story, which is, this is like, when I saw that this came out, it was kind of like I was like, what? I don't remember there being any DLC for this game, but apparently there was this thing called the Goblin Menace, which seems like, and also Dwarven Caverns. I haven't heard any of this stuff because apparently Trine 2 doesn't release this DLC on Steam, but I don't know what to say about this. We played Trine 2 briefly. Oh, sorry, I see how much this was. So this is $19.99, and you can buy a 3-pack for $39.99. And you can also buy Trine 2 Complete, which is, or no, Trine Complete, which is Trine, and then Trine 2 Complete Story for $24.99. There's a whole bunch of other stuff underneath this. But yeah, we've actually played this game sans the DLC, and we didn't really have that great of a time with it. I mean, it was pretty much the same as Trine, which was an alright game. But it wasn't. I remember the multiplayer being not that great.
Yeah, I don't remember much that I disliked about Trine 1, and I don't remember much that I liked about Trine 2. Because it was the same fucking game.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same game. We didn't really get that far into it, so I don't want to be like, our opinion is the master of all opinions. This game, Trine is generally a well-liked game, and Trine 2 is the same game, so people like that too. And this game has good reviews on it, and people seem to like it, so I'm not going to say that I think it's a bad game. I thought it was fun, same as Trine, which was a good game. It had a good setup to it, but I don't know if I would recommend buying the complete story, because I am not aware that there's anything more than Trine 2 in it. I don't know what the Goblin Menace or the Dwarven Caverns are. I mean, they couldn't have been that great, because I've never heard anybody mention them ever.
Goblos. Trine 2 Goblos.
Yeah. I remember that the worst thing about Trine was fighting goblins.
Well, they're a menace like that.
Yeah, it looks like it also includes the soundtrack and some art books and stuff, but if you're into that, go for it. If you're really into it, you probably already own Trine, so you probably don't need to buy this. Or, I mean, you probably already own Trine 2, so you probably don't need to buy the complete story. So, kind of a weird re-release for Trine. Not sure why they did it. Did you have any special notes about that one?
No, I mean, I liked Trine's graphics. I'm sure Trine 2 is a great game. I mean, I liked its graphics. I liked its story. I liked everything about Trine 1. But, I mean, what can we say about Trine 2? The fucking re-envisioning. Unless, like, they replaced all their characters with cats. I don't know, really. Mustache cats from the fucking 40s.
I can say that if you want to play Trine with your Trine 2 with your friends, do not do it, because it's not a good experience for anyone.
No.
It is a fucking clusterfuck. So, if that's your aim, do not buy that. But otherwise, if you just want to play Trine again with some new levels and maybe some new stuff that we didn't get to, go for it. And you don't own Trine 2 already. I'm sure it's a great deal.
Yeah.
All right.
Finally.
Finally. This is the last game. This game came out today. This is another free-to-play MMO. This is called ARCANE SAGA Online. This game also has a lot of ridiculously stupid downloadable content for like $35 of like XP boosts and shit like that.
Please pay for us to win.
Yeah, this is one of those. Well, I mean, win what? It's like a single-player game disguised as an MMO when you do that, but this is just another one of those games that's been snuck into Steam on the free-to-play market, which is just like another, I don't know, there's a million games on Steam free-to-play that are just like kind of shitty MMOs that look like they came from the early 90s. This game looks like it's like a step above EverQuest, maybe, like barely. Although it's got like a ton of anime mixed into it too. Like the character models are all like kind of high-res, and then like you look at it and it's like rock with like 4 polygons is the entire background. So I mean, I'm not going to be like, you should get this game right away, even though it's free. I don't even have to play this game to tell you that it fucking sucks. But yeah, I'm guessing that's exactly what you wrote down.
Yeah, no, I'm not hugely into it. I'm not like super impressed by anything regarding that game. I mean, they say it's fast leveling. It's basically just a game that they're trying to sell, and it's not very impressive. I don't find it to be too impressive. I mean, am I wrong in that?
No, these. I think this what this game is good for is getting a good laugh of looking at how the MMO market still hasn't moved past like Nintendo 64 graphic quality.
Yeah,
These
like
graphics
it's
are
all
awful.
World of Warcraft straight out of fucking Ocarina of
This is
Time graphics.
yeah. These look so bad. Ugh, I can't even. I don't even want to look at this game anymore. I think it's pretty funny that this game has a pretty funny about the game segment too, where they're like, each job focuses on a different role: DPS, heals, tanking, or PvP. And like, no shit, am I playing an MMO?
Oh
Like,
my god!
you don't need to write that down in about the game section.
You can even
Like,
move your characters.
I'd be surprised if I played any MMO and that shit wasn't in it, because that's like the staple of the genre. Like, that'd be like, it's an FPS without any guns. Like, why did you make it then? So, yeah. I don't know about that. I mean, I could be wrong. This game could be the fucking greatest MMO in the world, but I am close to guaranteeing that it's not, especially considering the DLC gouging that I see here. So, just another bland free-to-play MMO on Steam.
Yeah.
Anyways,
let's get to the highlight here.
all right, so
We covered how many games? 13 games this week.
13 games came out this week.
That's a lot.
Although
One of
them was a re-release and one of them was a Substance Designer 3.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, not that many games came out this week. Yeah, so what are some... We're going to do some upcoming games.
Yeah, let's do upcoming games. You go ahead with yours first.
Yeah, I actually have lots to talk about, because today they announced a new DLC for Civilization 5. It's kind of a weird... Like, it doesn't seem like there's that much of a DLC. Like, their thing is that they say, your influence around the world will be impacted by great works. Choosing an ideology for your people will have something to do with the World Congress. So it sounds like they just added a World Congress and that's it. So I like Civ 5. I hate a lot of things about how the game is managed. So I'm kind of interested to see about this game. It's $30, which is a lot for a DLC, especially for a Civ 5 DLC, because the last one was like, this should have been $5. Even though I like the last DLC. I thought it was interesting, but it was just like not worth $30 for sure.
Oh no, not even remotely.
Yeah. And another thing that they announced today was a Saints Row 4 is coming out. I don't know how I feel about the Saints Row series. I think they're funny, but it's also like, this is like just an excuse to play more GTA kind of thing. Yeah. So it's kind of like treads the line between being really funny and being GTA. So those two games, I'm not like excited about them. I'm interested to see what will happen to them. But the game that I am really excited about coming out is Shadowrun. I guess you never played this when you didn't have a Genesis, huh? But this game, when it was on Genesis, was like the most badass RPG of all time. Well, not of all time. There's some better ones, but this is like definitely one of the defining moments of the Genesis RPG kind of movement. And this game looks really good to me. It's got like everything in it is like hand drawn. It looks beautiful. Yeah. It's got like it's kind of got like the kind of tactical RPG kind of stuff like the Fallouts, or it's like kind of Shadowrun was kind of a mixture between like an action RPG and Fallout. So I'm like excited to see how that goes. And I just think it looks good to me. I'm probably gonna get this game. I don't know if I'll be able to afford it. It isn't a very clear release date. It just says June 2013, which is right now. So I'm kind of wondering if it's going to be one of those games that like doesn't actually come out.
Releases today.
Yeah, it looks really good to me though. I'm excited for that bad boy. That's definitely on one of my my upcoming favorites. And one thing that we should probably mention is that Payday 2. Is it called Payday? Yeah, Payday 2 is coming out.
Payday 2, the bloodening.
Yeah, I don't know if we would call ourselves Payday fans, but we definitely play it a lot. I mean, it's fun. It's also super frustrating.
Oh, it is.
So, yeah, but we like it. So I don't know if I'll buy Payday 2. Maybe when it goes on summer sale or something like that. But I'm interesting to see how they'll improve the game, because the game, it's got like a lot of fun elements to it, but it also has a lot of things where I'm like, I wish they would fucking improve this bullshit that's going on right now, because it's fucking annoying as hell. So we'll see how they do with that one. I don't know if there was anything else that was coming out that was exciting to me.
I have something ready for you. Yeah.
Just kidding. Yeah, tell me about what you're excited about.
I am excited for the South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Oh, yeah, look at this guy. This looks like one of those penny arcade RPGs. So this guy's, it says available 2013, so who knows when this is going to come out. What are you excited about, this guy?
I'm excited about it because it looks really good. It's a pretty...
It does look straight out of the show. It sounds like you're an intense
I'm fighting a pyro to death right now, sir. Come here, you bastard. Stop being able to get away from me. There we go. I melted, but I got him. Anyway, yeah, no, it looks really fun. Did you see like any of the trailers or the?
Yeah, I saw it. I gotta admit that I'm not a huge South Park fan, being from Colorado. It kind of annoys me that everybody's like constantly referencing Towley. So like,
oh my god! Well, I mean that's a hell that I'm sure you're. Yeah. I wouldn't wish that hell on anyone, but I haven't watched the show in a long time. But I do like the Trey Parker and Matt Stone's humor style. I think it's actually very funny. They're very funny guys, and like if you've seen their movies at all, you know they made like Basketball's a really fucking funny movie.
I love Basketball. Baseball's hilarious.
You know, it's well worth watching. That's one of the few movies I can watch over and over again, and I think that a lot like just the fact that one of the classes is Jew. I mean, that's just such a weird thing that I never would have expected, but yet I should have expected.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it comes out. I mean, I don't know if did you ever play they made an FPS of South Park in like
oh god, yeah, it was the worst piece of shit.
Fucking sucked. Although I did like the upgrade system of all the weapons where you just like pee on a snowball to make it more damaging. Yeah. That was funny. But yeah, that game fucking was awful. So we'll see. I'm kind of interested to see how this one turns out. One other game that I just noticed that is coming out sometime in 2014 is this. God knows if this will be a good game, but Dying Light looks beautiful and it looks like a good game to me. It's just like another fucking generic zombie survivor game. But I mean, I always get my hopes up about these, but we'll see if that one turns out good. The graphics look really great, so maybe it will be good.
Yeah.
I mean, graphics always make a good game, right?
Yeah, no, they can improve a good game.
Yeah.
If it doesn't look like dog shit and you can tell what's going on, it's generally a nice thing to have.
Yeah. Those are all the games that I'm excited about. There's like a few more coming out, but none of them are really catching my eye too much.
I only looked for one because I thought we were only going to highlight one, but...
Oh, I mean, yeah, whatever, that's fine. I thought we were just going to talk about games that are coming out.
Yeah, no.
So let's skip our love and hates out for the week of games we really like, things we really hated. And you go first, Rick.
I will cover the hate section.
Okay.
And that hate is that I've re-downloaded and then re-deleted GTA 4. I really wanted that game to work. Like, I have a new computer, it should work, but it fucking wouldn't. It wouldn't work on my new computer with 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, that game was not optimized for computers. It was optimized for a time far in the future where people can come back and dig up the relic with his GTA 4 and play it again. Yeah. But not in this current time, that's for sure. Oh. Yeah, that game was so poorly optimized, I couldn't believe it.
It's ridiculous, and I mean, even before on my old computer, which it like lagged all to hell. It's not like I had a fucking ancient computer. You know,
No, yeah, that was a good computer.
I had like 4 or 5 gigs of RAM and like a good video card. It was not a bad video card and all, but not enough to matter, I guess.
Yeah. Well, did you ever play that game on Xbox or anything like that?
No, and I've seen like videos online of people having some real fun with the game, and it looks fun, especially multiplayer, but just no dice.
Huh. I'm not a huge fan of the single player. I thought it was definitely not as good as San Andreas, so I don't think you're missing out on too much. I mean, it is kind of a good game, but it's not like the greatest game that ever got made, so... It is shitty that you bought it and it doesn't work.
Yeah, and there's nothing really to be done about it.
Not too much. Alright, I am gonna love on Monaco.
Ooh,
We played Monaco Me, Rick, and John played it for I think about 2.5 hours.
You may see that on this channel soon enough, or before this video gets uploaded.
We tested it apparently. That game is hilarious. I don't know what it is about it. I was like super. I bought it for all these dudes, and I was like kind of like I just wanted a co-op game to play because we've played every co-op game a million times. So I was like, it'd be fun to play something, and everyone was just like going crazy, like this is the best co-op game that's been made this year. So I was like, I guess I'll give it a try. And I don't know if it's the best co-op game that's been made this year, but it is super hilarious to play with a bunch of people because it's just like
a clusterfuck.
The biggest comedy of errors that you could possibly.
John fucking bungling into every guard and every fucking camera, even on review. Like I do pretty badly, but John, oh my god. Something's wrong.
I did pretty badly too. There's the last couple levels I was just like not even giving a fuck about running into guards anymore. I think it's a pretty funny game. It's fun on its own, but it's also just like it's just one of those games that is just like something that's fun to play with everyone because like things don't go that badly when you run into a guard. Kind of like in Left 4 Dead, when things start to go badly, you're like, things are really going badly right now.
They go downhill.
It's just kind of like a funny spectacle when things go badly, and you can kind of recover from it. And you like hide in the bushes with your friends for a little bit. So I think that game is pretty fun. If you got some friends and they want to, it's pretty cheap. I think it's $15. It'll probably go on sale soon because it came out about half a year ago. So if you see that game on sale,
it's well worth it.
Yeah, it's really funny. So
at first I was like, why did Auntie pay for this for me? It's $15. What's this shit? And then I played it and I'm like, oh my god, this is worth it just for the comedy alone. Another game I'd like to recommend real quick is Star Wars Battlefront. Still a fun game. Still not bad at all.
Yeah, we should definitely love on Battlefront. We've been playing a lot of Battlefront with the POS dudes. It is... That game is definitely starting to show its age, but it's definitely the core of it being multiplayer is still hilarious, and it still holds up. Of just like the the large scale owning of one side of the team by the other.
Well, it was somewhat fair when I had you and John versus me in space, because you won some and then I won some, but on ground I don't know really what to do. I get killed so hard.
Yeah, that game's definitely its AI and its graphics have been put into the nursing home, but it's still a lot of fun with a lot of friends to get on the Battlefront. Like, the more friends you have, the more fun that game gets. So.
And it's a stable internet.
Yeah, they should just rip the netcode straight out of the game and put into every game they ever make from now on. Because it's fucking about 1 billion times in the netcode better than netcode on, like, TRINE 2, for example, which was constantly kicking us out when we tried to play it. So, yeah, I'd definitely put some love on that game. I don't know if I want to put any hate on anything. I guess I definitely came out of Marvel Heroes feeling super disappointed that the game didn't turn out well, because I really like Marvel. When I was a kid, I would like read Marvel comics all the time, but they just like failed to capture anything that made you feel super heroic or anything like that. So maybe that'll be my hate for the week. And I think that is the Steam Roundtable for the week of... So what was that? So May 30th to June 6th. So that, I don't know why we chose Thursday, but
yeah, every Thursday from now on. Hopefully there's not like 20 games next time. That was a lot of bullshit. Like, a lot of those games are just so lackluster. Let's give some final thoughts on the lacklusterness, if that's a word, of my diction and those games.
I don't know if I agree with you. I think Steam's been doing a really good job. I think a lot of these games were greenlit this week, like as opposed... Well, actually, you know, I think about the same amount of games get released every week that are greenlit, but, you know, they're doing their best to put out some more indie games. I mean, if there weren't for those indie games, it would just be Marvel Heroes, Remember Me, and Jagged Alliance would be the only games that got released this week. So I'm glad they're, like, at least putting out some options for people who want to, like, get more into, like, the cheaper, indier games and check those things out. So I don't think they were all lackluster. I mean... Swapper I'll probably get, and that tower defense game I'll probably get, which is more than I can say about most weeks of Steam releases.
Yeah.
So
I love Cranky Cat.
I think it wasn't a bad week.
I mean, I guess I could be being too hard on it, but I don't know. A lot of the games that blend are like the same exact games. There's several of those games that could just basically, you could combine the dev teams and make one good game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's true. I don't know if it definitely wasn't even, it wasn't a AAA week either. Like, I think just recently Metro Last Light got released, and you never played this, but Dust is also a really good game that came out recently, and Fez came out at the beginning of the month. So nothing that was just like, nothing I was like anticipating as being really good came out this week. So I think that might be another reason why it was just, like, this wasn't the craziest week for game releases ever. So,
Yeah.
So that might have something to do with it.
Maybe.
But yeah, I thought it wasn't a bad week. I mean, I think it was like a like 60-40, like bad games, good games, but that's what I expect from Steam anyways. So
Yeah,
cool.
no, that was a good little week in review there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, we will see you next week, listeners.
I'm glad you tuned in. We'll see you next week, and hopefully we can think of a great sign-off for this segment.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to stick to go fuck
Go fuck yourselves.